Natalie, what can we expect from Chauvin's sentencing? Because he's been convicted on 3 different charges, and of course, those 3 charges all carry different sentencing guidelines. Pick it apart for us.
All right, so for second-degree murder, the most he can be sentenced is 40 years, and that's the highest amount of sentencing he can get just for that. But because he has no prior criminal record, it's likely that his sentencing will not be that long at all. The state's guidelines say that his sentencing will probably be somewhere in between 10 and 15 years at the end of the day when he is sentenced in a few months.
So Natalie, I want to touch on the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. That's one of the House's solutions when we talk about police reform. You know, one of the things that a lot of people in the House and Congress are divided on is how exactly to move forward, what exactly the solution Congress is going to put forward is. What can you tell me about this bill, and what are the chances of this thing passing?
So the long and the short of it is it's really good for this bill. You know, the congresswomen and congressmen highlighted that something that this trial did was put police officers on the stand, and they actually ended up testifying against Derek Chauvin. And because of this, it shows other officers across the country that if you are a good officer and you're doing honest work, then you really have nothing to worry about with this bill or anything in the future.
And reaction to the verdicts was widespread. What are some of the things some elected officials around the country have said?
So elected officials around the country can all say that they can take a sigh of relief now, they can take a breath, but they are saying that this is just one step in the right direction and there still is a lot of work to be done. Congresswoman Joyce Beatty shared that sentiment. Take a listen.
While we are pleased with the verdict, we are very clear that this is just the first step. We are pleased that it was guilty on all charges. We will wait for the sentencing of it because we know justice has been delayed.
So Natalie, one of the other things we're touching on here is that over the past month, kind of police violence has been in the news in a lot of different cases across multiple different states. What are we looking at with those cases, and does last week mean anything for those cases at all?
So officials say that this case was really unique. Of course, they had the video, and on top of that, they also had Americans across the nation rallying behind George Floyd, fighting for justice for George Floyd. So because of this, this case is quite unique, and each case is different. There are different laws and legal specifics that go into each one. So until meaningful until meaningful change is made with laws and until there is meaningful police reform, it will be difficult to set any precedent going forward until that is done.
Natalie Fahmy, thank you very much.